origins of the campaign were and how we start off.
Okay, so the mission is, well, the campaign is, you could liken it to a game of Dungeons and Dragons, in which there are no super specific rules apart from combat. So you can make your own plans, you can use your own imagination to kind of come up with tactics and things that you want to do with the assets that you have. And that's not something I'm going to limit too much. If you want to have something done, let me know, and I'll move, say, a carrier group 50 miles south, or what have you. So imagination is the limit, and make use of it. Obviously, you have equipment limitations because you are fighting for a country called North America. I'll explain the situation in a bit. Speaking of the situation, so we have two countries that have been fighting for more than a decade now, about 15 years, and it's time to escalate the things to a full blown out war. So Sosieska and North America have been struggling to keep good relations, and now North America has conducted a biological weapons test. So Sosieska is forced to do what any good country does and adds more sanctions to them. However, because North can't really keep up with the sanctions anymore, they have to do something about it. Now they are invading Sosieska.
Hi, Cody. So, how are you doing?
Grim Reapers has been hired by North American Air Force. Now, North American Air Force is complete fucking shambles. They can't do much on their own, but they have plenty of aircraft.
North America.
And yeah, you guys, as Grim Reapers, will primarily be handling all of the war from the air, and the North American ground guys will come and sweep and found FARPs and whatnot as you progress.
So where's North America? Is that north of this border?
Okay, so we're using this other country's aircraft. Now, you said there was aircraft limits. Do we have a empirical list anywhere of these aircraft limits?
Not yet. I'll have to kind of see how it balances out.
Roger, yeah, to get a feel for it after the first
Busy working hours.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, because we'll need to
you
make
have to
some
watch
kind of
out for that
plan.
working business.
We know where the blues start off from, i.e. which airfields. I know you sent me a private message, but...
Yes, blue team has... Alright, so the map is based on the Georgia map. So Georgia, as a country, is now dubbed Sosieska, and the Russian bit is North America, and you have all the military Air Force bases. So the civilian air bases, they are neutral. You don't get anything from there, but you can land if you want.
Mass Effect 3, huh? Not played that.
Cool.
North, south, I see it.
And if what we're going to do, we're going to agree, Blues today are going to agree a mission. We're going to create our own mission in this dynamic campaign. We're not going to tell the Reds what it is. The Reds have got to essentially react to their early warning systems and stuff like that. So they might not even be in the same area today. Is there any limit as to what we can make our mission? If you know what I'm saying, do we have to go in a certain area, or how has that been handled? Or can
I haven't used the GPU to do the encoding. Because the GPU is not really required.
For the first few days, you mostly just have your carrier group
and it's gone back to software encoding.
The northwestern airfields, because Mozdok is still being refitted.
Which means my CPU is doing like 90%.
So as the campaign progresses, that airfield becomes available for that final push.
Which is no good.
The Sosieska capital city.
I have to stop this and come back. Hang on a minute.
So basically, you start sweeping from the northwest to the southeast.
I don't know why it did it. It was working already. All right.
Comprised of roughly the numbers, and I recreated one essentially.
I'll have to leave it. It's not giving me the option to hardware and code.
Defense network here.
Unlike normal, basically.
For some strange reason, I don't know why.
In placements and stuff like that. But
so yes, I'd have to reboot the computer.
The placements are mutual support and appropriate numbers and locations, and it's just
I know why.
Right. Now, what are the rules regarding
the new
playability? If you die, that's it. You get 1 life per mission.
1 life per mission, yes.
And does that apply to the Reds as well? Or do the Reds just keep coming at you?
Well, basically, Red is supposed to be a nation, and I'm sure they have more than 3 pilots.
Right. Okay. It's fine. Anyone got questions for?
Why didn't this
Coffee
want to
before we
do
send them
the
off so we can start
update
talking? Right.
earlier this afternoon while I was on when it didn't actually matter?
Or is it just a gentleman's agreement?
Gentleman's agreement.
You take the A10 or the wipeout.
So if
What's
lag
the
out, I can
wipeout?
still grab a new plane, right?
Roger.
If
Wipeout?
it's a lag issue, yes.
Yeah, and
But
I
if
can
you-
check.
But if you fuck up your landing,
What's
if you
a
fuck up
wipeout
your
then?
takeoff, that counts as a lost aircraft.
Yeah, for sure.
So don't do it like we had yesterday. Right.
I'm
Any other
missing the
questions?
briefing now as well. Oh dear.
I have a question, Coffee. The planes, the groups that you've given us, those aircraft, are those the only aircraft we have, or do we have other types of aircraft?
So, Blue 4 has Western Coalition aircraft, mostly just American ones, but America, as a country in this game, is basically given all the Western
Pardon
aircraft.
me.
So you have those for your choices. However, because it's set like that, you don't have the Su-25T, so you're stuck with Harriers and Viggens and other kinds of, let's call a little improvised seed.
Yeah, fine. We'll
Oh,
use
hang on,
what
isn't
we've
that
got
the
available.
armour?
Damn, F-18s, please.
Isn't that the
Fine.
armor
Any
3
other
thing?
any
Oh,
questions
wipeout. Was
before
that
we
am I
send them
thinking
away,
something else?
guys?
I can't remember the call that thing in armor 3.
I've just got a thing for the future of the campaign. If you want to have some recon, you can send so-called scouts, but they can't scout the entire fucking map in one go. So you need to kind of focus your search to an area, and if they find something in there that's worth destroying, I'll
Add it in.
make it happen.
Yeah, fine. All right. I think we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to get a feel for this basically, and yeah, work from there.
So everybody get
Does Blue have
hawks and...
GCI?
Say what?
Does Blue have GCA?
There is a carrier group, and carrier group does come with E2s.
Cool. So we can have GCI to help us out. That would be extremely useful in such a complicated situation.
I'll give you a bit more of a rundown of how this is going to start once the reds have cleared off.
Right.
Coffee and I have spoken about this
Install.
beforehand. So.
Any other questions for Coffee before we clear them out? Okay, good. Coffee, clear out. This may take a little bit longer than normal because obviously we've got a lot of understanding to get, but we'll be in touch as soon as we can.
All right. Red 4 in the repo.
Ta-ta.
Okay, P-Man. So tell us what you know, sir.
Okay, well, I'm not going to spoil it, although I know where some of the locations are because I've been testing it. I'm not going to spoil it because that defeats the entire purpose of it. But what I will say is that the first mission, you're not going to know where the targets are. So the first probably 2 or 3 days is going to be a case of hunting down targets and destroying them.
I hate realism.
It's the same way that any nation would be if they overtake, unless if they were going to attack. Because let's face it, unless you're going to fly a spy aircraft low enough for a third world country to be able to spot SAM sites, they're just not going to know where they are. You'll be able to use like RWRs. You'll be able to do. It's going to be a mission.
What about like the AWACS? They can use their radars. We can have them find all the SAMs and shit.
No, you mean AWACS in ELINT aircraft, basically.
They're only going to find aircraft. You're not going to find the SAM sites with them. So to find the SAM sites, it's going to be wild weaseling. It's going to be RWR spiking. It's going to be find a site, take it out. Find a site, take it out. And it's going to be eyes on swivels, keeping your RWRs in your hand, making sure that you're not ignoring an RWR because you think, oh well, I know that one's miles away. You've got no idea where they are.
So send in the Viggens with their recon pods, I guess.
Yeah, this is all Viggens and AV-8B work, isn't it? By the sounds
The
of it.
F-15s are perfect recon aircraft for this because they're fast. They have good.
Too expensive. We can't use them.
Yeah, you've only got a handful of them. If you
just can't die.
If you lose them in the first couple of missions, then that's it for the campaign. There are no more F-15s. And when they start bringing out issue 27s, we're bollocks.
Yeah, hence
I will be mad at you if you destroy my chance of using one.
We just can't die. We just can't.
Members guides, tutorials, public lobby.
Okay, I'm going to be a Viggen or an AV-8. Is anyone wants to come?
No, I don't see junior members in it.
Doing it on my own. AV-8B then for Cap. Do we want wingman pairs or wingman
Tell me
pairs?
you've got a separate Discord for junior members.
4 ship going in and getting powered by one S300 site.
Not only that, but you have to bear in mind that those guys, they don't know where we're going to come from. We could go all the way from Gadata, we could go all the way south of Beslan. They don't know. That's the whole point of this campaign. So they're going to have to spread themselves out to find us. They've only got MiG-21s. Okay, yes, they've got some GCI, but it's not very good GCI. So if we use terrain masking and we use splitting the force up and we don't go in as a big blob, we've got a much better chance of actually getting something done. But
go ahead.
You just have to make a point of it is going to be a case of you take some armament that you think can deal with any sort of SAM site
so
you
now
think
we've
you're
got
going to come up
sluggers
against. Don't expect it to be like the normal
Reapers and the
scenarios
Reapers.
where you've got an
Too many
S300
groups.
site and it doesn't have a close range IR SAM defending it. These will have.
Okay,
So Maverick's not working on the OV8Bs is a bit of a fucker.
Just getting close, use Unis.
Not with IR SAMs there, you won't.
This is gonna be brutal.
You sidearm standoff or nothing.
What about the
sidearm now?
It's going to be an educational experience for everyone because it's a step up from what we've been doing before, but it's going to mean that you're fighting the enemy rather than necessarily just fighting Red 4. Whereas normally on missions we have Red 4 and they're just circling a bit overhead waiting for us and they know exactly what we're going to do. They can't do that this time because they've got no idea what we're going to do. We don't know what we're going to do yet. So how do they...
Right. So
Do we know where we're starting from?
As a mindset, before we even get into any tactics, as a mindset, I suggest we use conservatism rather than liberalism, and we just try and concentrate on staying safe rather than as a to get into the start, get into things, and we can start mapping things in our mind then and where sites are rather than charging in and trying to launch rockets and stuff. That thing.
Question.
Go. Hello.
Once the site has been found, will that be put on a map if it's not destroyed?
Yeah, so that will be there forever through the whole campaign. So find a way of logging that in your head, or put a dot on the map, and then we'll mark it on our piece of paper when we get back as our campaign marker, and then we'll start to map it out.
Don't rule out the fact that they could move, because if it's like a real SAM site and they get struck but not destroyed, the enemy's not going to leave them there to be struck again.
Yep.
And if you take out the radar dish, they'll just get another one.
Okay, so for this mission, should we just all stick to non-F-15s, 3rd gen, and just get a feel for it?
Yeah, I mean, what I'd suggest is
well,
take something
I guess it's going to be a proper campaign.
And get a feel for it. Realistically, I was kind of hoping that Star was going to be here because I was going to take him and I in Vigans to go and try and find stuff for people to blow up.
I can fly Vigan.
Yeah, me and you will take Vigans then, and basically the idea is that we'll have flare pods, we'll have jamming pods, and we'll be jinking nice and low and using our RWRs to make nails calls so that the flight leaders for the other flights have a vague idea of where SAM sites are. Bear in mind, we won't be able to give you ranges, only bearings.
Yep.
And this is...
Nothing will be able to get ranges. Nothing, apart from going over that site. Nothing.
Surely we could triangulate it.
You will be able to a degree, yes, but the only way you're really going to get a range is if you see an SA6 site pop up on your RWR, and if it's on the inner circle or the outer circle. But we don't have that in a Vigan, we just get nails.
On a Harrier, it's just how strong the signal strength is. It's not a distance range.
Yeah, it's true. It's no use,
Fog of
really.
War.
It is useful in a combat situation because the stronger the signal, you can determine the lethal threat range.
Oh, Auntie's got a point. Fog of War will be on because they use arcade mode, the Reds do. So Fog of War will be on. So we will be able to see it. If you just press F10, you'll see the sites flip up as soon as they lock you.
Yeah.
So we can cheat basically. So
Great.
they cheat, we cheat at the end of the day.
Bloody hell.
Okay, that's good. Right, so in this case, yeah, where are we starting from? I haven't got a clue. You could tell me.
There's only there's two options that we have. You've got Beslan in the top right, or you've got the carrier group. That's the only two options for the start of the campaign.
Beslan for sure. I don't want to carrier every time.
What on earth is going on here?
It will change as the campaign goes on, but for the start, that's how it's going to be.
Does everyone?
Cap, we need to get you to land on the carriers again with the hook.
I can land, but it's dangerous, and we've got one life. It's the last thing we want to do.
No, it seems there's a bug in the open beta where if you catch the last wire on the
doesn't matter,
your plane explodes.
We don't have Kuznetsovs and you don't have Su-33s.
Yeah, I know. I just want to see Cap explode.
So we will happily with Beslan there. It's a good safe start. and hopefully he's put some SAMs there, so they're not just going to come and base campus.
They won't. This is done in the good spirit of the game. They're not going to come and do something that's going to fuck us over because they want this to work as much as we do.
Okay, well, with that bearing in mind, I'm just making sure I am recording. I am.
Rip the stream.
Do you guys have any idea where you want to go to start getting a feel? I mean, right over the mountains is perfect for us. We can get in the foothills just south of the Caucasus and start looking for stuff.
I thought he wanted us to start northwest, like above Sochi.
We're starting a Bezlan.
Good artist, Akumi, I guess.
He said northwest to southeast.
Did he say northwest?
Yes, he did. He said so. Their final city is, Tbilisi or whatever, and we start very opposite, northwest, which is Krimsk.
Yeah, unfortunately,
I was told we're
there's a
starting either
graphics card update being installed right now.
No, that might have been me getting it wrong. I'll check it in a second because I've got the mission.
The CPU's running at 100%.
Yep.
And my GPU's running at 80 bloody percent while it's installing. It's a pain in the ass.
Makeup or somewhere. I mean, you're going to make that
so, what are we actually doing? Fam flights or?
It's got to be. I would say pairs for safety. You can't risk getting a full flight discovered and shot down.
Now my question is, can I go and like rocket or runway or something?
I'll stop the recording.
Yes, but what use would it have any use?
I need to record.
Do anything? Rocket Godard? I don't see it being any use. I think Seed is the only really useful thing of doing this campaign, as far as I can see, taking down seed sites until they've got no more SAM network. Does anyone disagree with that? And you can do that, Sherman. You're F5 is excellent at doing this job. Elo's found that out once they've discovered where they are. Yeah, as far as I can see, that's the only useful mission. We may discover things. We may go on that sea mission and discover, we found I don't know, I can't think of anything off my head, top of my head. We may have found a site, another site somewhere that needs blowing up, and then we can decide.
A cure for cancer research facility.
There we go.
Yeah.
So for the time being, I think we head into the northwest section.
Bad taste.
No, not at all, not for us. We head north of Gwadada. We stick in the mountains, foothills. Obviously, number one, careful of the MiG-21s. But apart from that, we look around and search for sites, SAM sites. We have a GCI try and help us triangulate them, and we start to get fixed on them. And if we can move in and do some damage, that would be great. If not, at least we've got some positions of them.
I might have to stop OBS while this bloody software installs.
I need a drink, man.
Yeah, most of the aircraft are based in the northwest. Sorry, the northwest. So it's Makop, Novorossiysk up there.
Roger. Okay. Awesome. So I might as well team up with. We've got an odd number of things, so I might as well Viggen with Trash in that case then.
I'm going to have to stop OBS
pairs of Harriers there.
Oh, this is never going to install. Pain me off. I'll be back before it starts. Hang on, guys.